Welcome back to Flowvia Automations, and in this video, I'm going to be showing you how you can use n8n to trade stocks within Slack using no code at all. So let's get into it. Alright, so the first step of what we're going to be doing is going into our Slack API. So this is just going to be found by going into your Slack apps. So you can search up Slack applications. Obviously, if you don't already have a Slack server and everything set up, you want to go do that first. But once you have your server set up, you're going to want to go to the Slack API section. And within here, we're going to go ahead and create a new app. We're going to click from scratch. If you have a manifest for your server, you can go ahead and use that. But for this one, we're just going to be calling this stock test. Stock test, and you want to select the workplace that you're going to be working with. So we're going to be using this one. And simply, we're going to go ahead and create that app. Now, once we have that app created, you want to go into your n8n. So that's kind of why I have it here. And we're just going to quickly get our trigger set up. So we're going to go ahead and search for Slack. And we're going to be using the on bot app mention because I find that one to be the best working. When you go ahead to set up your credentials, you're going to want to go, if you don't already have your credentials set up, you want to create a new one. All of the information you will need to do that is going to be right here. So your app ID, your client ID, the client secret, that's all the information you're going to be needing to set that up. So go ahead and do that now. Once you have that set up, we're going to go back into our Slack and we're going to go down to the event subscription section. So the event subscription section is going to be where we're going to put our URL. So if you open up this tab over here in n8n, there's going to be a test URL and the production. I always like to use the production, just that way you can actually get real data to work with, and I'll show you all of that in a second. So once we paste that into here, it's actually going to tell us that it's not verified. For one reason only, it's because we're using the production URL, we have to make sure our workflow is active. So now that the workflow is active and everything is saved, we're going to go ahead and retry that, and it's now verified. Nice and simple. Now that once you're done that, you want to go down into the subscribe to bot events. So this is kind of telling the bot what permissions it has and what it should be watching out for. For ours, we're simply just going to be doing the app mention. So anytime that it's been mentioned, we want to go ahead and trigger that, that bot. Now that we have this here, we can go ahead and save these changes. Another thing that you should be doing as well is going to your OAuth and permissions. And over here, it's going to ask you to install it to the server. Before you do that, I like to always go down here and make sure that your scopes are set correctly. So you can see that the scope that we set is already there. Now that we have that, we can simply install this to our server. So it's going to say that it's going to perform actions in the channels and conversations. We're going to allow that and give it a second. And there we go. So now that it's installed, we can actually go head over to our Slack server, scroll down, and you'll be able to see it at the bottom here. That's how you know the bot has been installed to your app or to your server. If you don't see it here, that means something has went wrong and you want to go back and check for any mistakes. So now that we have that here and everything has been installed on our Slack server side, we're pretty much done with that for now. So we can go back into our n8n and focus on building out the rest of this workflow. Since we have this server here now, we want to make sure we select the channels for everything that we do. I have one set up already called Stock Analyzer, and yeah, it's already here. So we're going to go ahead and save this workflow. And actually one more step of what we're going to do is we're going to send over a test to our workflow. So you know how we use the production URL? That means this is technically ready to go. So we can actually test this out. So if we do @stock test, it's going to show that it's not in the channel yet because we've not invited it. But if you simply just send it over, it's going to ask you to add it in, and then you can simply just add the bot. So now that the bot is added into our channel, we can go ahead and call it again. So we can call for stock test, and we're going to simply just give it a ticker, a company name. So we're going to say Apple for the testing. And now that we have that, we can go into our executions tab, and we can see that we just received something. That's something that we received. We can open it up and take a look. That has received an app mention, the IDs of everything, and if you scroll down, it's going to show us the text that we sent, which was Apple. So now that we have that, we can actually go ahead and copy this JSON, go back into our editor, and just paste the JSON within here. So we're going to paste that there and save. Now we have all of the real production data that could actually be used like in real life here in our workflow to use for testing. So that's why I like to use that production URL. But yeah, now that we have that, we want to actually go ahead and grab the next node, which is going to be any type of AI messaging node. There is different ways to do this, but honestly for this video, I'm going to keep it simple and just use the OpenAI messaging model. So we're going to use the 4.1 mini, and we're going to simply say, grab the ticker for the company, grab the stock ticker for the company provided. For the company provided. We're going to change this to expression, and we are going to give it our text. Perfect. So now that we do this, we actually want to also go into our options, and we want to do the output format, and we're going to select it to be JSON object. That way it's actually going to output a schema and not just one big block of text. We're going to execute this, and you can see we now have our stock ticker returned. So nice and simple, we have everything here, and now we can actually go ahead and make the call to our stock API. So what we're going to be using today is going to be FinHub. They have a free API usage for a lot of their things, so that's why I like to use them. But yeah, so once you go into here, you're going to want to sign in and get your free API key. Once you sign into the dashboard, you can actually just go into the API documentation. And once you're signed in already, it's going to have all of these methods that you can call. And what's nice is that once you're signed in, your API key is actually going to be brought over as well. So when you go to import the CURL, it actually has your token already in there. So the method that we will be using today is the stock quote. So once you get into that section and you've already logged in with your API key, you want to just simply copy and paste this CURL into your workflow. So we're going to grab an HTTP request node. We're going to change the method to keep it to get, and we are going to post the CURL in here. So now once we import that, it's going to bring in over all of our fields. Obviously in real production, you wouldn't want to show your token like this. I'm only showing it for the video purposes, but I'm going to reset it after this anyways. But yeah, so it populates everything in here. Obviously it already brought in a test symbol, but we're not going to use this. It's just a coincidence that's Apple as well. But what we're actually going to do is use our dynamic output and just use whatever the ticker was there. And now we can go ahead and execute this step, and we can see that it's returned us some data. If you don't know what these all refer to, you can actually go back into the FinHub, and it's going to show you exactly what each thing says. So C is the current price, D is the change, DP is the percent change, and etc. So now that we have all of this here, we can go back into our workflow and now start to analyze our data. So we're going to analyze exactly what we want to do and see how this stock actually behaving. The way we're going to do that is grabbing another OpenAI node. Obviously, if you're using any other AI messaging model, you could do that as well. But we're going to message a model here. We use also the 4.1 mini, and we're going to say a few things. You are a professional stock trader. I will provide you with stock data, and you must give a output on what to do. Obviously, you can make this a lot more intricate. Just for the video's sake, I'm going to make this a little shorter. But yeah, if you're a professional stock trader, I will provide you with stock data, and you must give an output on what to do. And then I'm going to also add in another cool tool here as well. Quickly, we're going to switch over to the expression, and we're just going to drag in over all of the prices. All right, so now that we have all of that data brought over into our AI, we're actually going to go down here and do something else as well. With the new n8n updates, they have actually added in this web search node. So we're going to actually have it search the web for us as well. And we're going to quickly tell it to do that as well. So we're going to say also do a quick web search for any breaking news or data that may affect your decision. So pretty much not only are we giving it all the current market data of that stock, we're also going to tell it to do a quick web search for any news or anything that has been released about that stock as well. The last thing that we're going to do is actually give it the ticker as well. So it's going to need obviously the ticker. And it's going to say, we're going to grab that from the message model here, and it's Apple. Perfect. So now we're going to execute the step. It knows what stock we have. It knows all of the prices, how it opened, the change, and we're going to also give it the idea to do a quick web research. So now that we have that here, it's going to show all of this information returned. So all of this annotation, it's done a bunch of web research, and then now it's going to have returned us a text. This text is pretty much telling us exactly what to do. And now that we have this, we're actually going to re-upload it back to our Slack server so the user can see it. So what we're going to do is grab another Slack node, quickly grab Slack, and we're going to go ahead and send a message. So we're going to send a message, and from here you want to make sure you have your Slack account server selected, and then you want to keep the message, the resource to message, operation send to channel. Obviously if you're doing this to a user you can do that as well. But we already had sent off the request from the original channel, so we want to send back the answer to that same channel. And what the text is going to be is this entire text. So now that we have this, we can actually just take a look at what our server looks like, and we can execute this step. Now that we've executed this step, you can see that has returned us a bunch of data. Not only did it return us kind of its analysis, but it also returned us some recent developments within Apple, and it's showing us actual links to those places of where you can get that recommendation. And it'll actually tell you here at the bottom, given Apple's strong financial performance, strategic AI initiatives, and positive analyst sentiment, the stock appears to be on a growth trajectory. Investors may consider holding or initiating positions in Apple, aligning with a long-term investment strategy. So you can see by simply just sending over a stock ticker, we got a full analysis with insights of what to do and links to all of the resources. So now that we have all of this here done, we're going to quickly save this, and we're going to go ahead and test out another ticker. So we're going to go at stock test, and we're going to say Tesla. So now that we send this over, we can go into our executions tab, and we can see that it's actually running. So it's received our request. It's going to take everything, take the Tesla name, find the ticker, receive all the information from FinHub, and boom, it's returned us our exact analysis. It's telling us that as of December 12th, 2025, so this is the current date, current market information, and it's showing us all of this information and news that has been received back as well. So yeah, that's pretty much it. I hope you guys found this video helpful. If you would like to see any other videos similar to this in the future, please leave all the ideas down below. But other than that, if you found this helpful, I would appreciate it if you leave a like and subscribe for future videos. But yeah, other than that, I hope you guys have a great day.